Hit it. Hit it.
Delete a Facebook, create a new stream, or just remove the destination.
Why didn't it play the video? Here, let's do this real fast.
Man, I really hope it got like a couple seconds of me doing my old man squint of what does that say there?
I'm almost certain it did. So I'm about watching
100%.
For everyone who is listening and not seeing us, this is Comic Industry Insiders. This is our live show we do every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We also come on just a few minutes early to kind of give everybody a chance to file into the room and to give Blake an opportunity to completely freak out over the assets that he's still trying to piece together. Honestly, to give us all a chance to just reintroduce ourselves and, say hey. So I'm going to go around the room, and that way you can all say hello when you hear your name so that those who are listening know what you sound like. So let's start clockwise. The man who is always desperately trying to get 30 seconds more to finish things up because we put things on him way too late in the day, Mr. Blake Morgan.
Hey!
We should just talk to Blake about time management skills. I think
I know.
I'm
really,
not the one to talk about time.
Blake, this just sounds like an excuse. It sounds like
an excuse. I got excuses for days, fellas.
So defensive.
I'm just gonna send Blake my default response pack for when people miss deadlines on the EXP. That's just different ways of saying "not on your life," "no," "jump off a bridge," things like that.
Kyle was trying to talk to me in the room like before the show and can't make fun of me. I use Canva. I know I shouldn't, and but whatever. Canva's like putting out these giant sized PDFs, and I'm like, stop it. And Kyle's like, if we try, and I was like, Kyle, I can't do this right now, man. I don't know.
Right, like I'm trying to be helpful from years of failing at this.
No help.
I had a zit pop in my brain. It was like
This week we have someone who keeps everything running and is now adding, I guess, correspondent to her list, Miss Megan Marsden, because we have an interview that you did.
Getting that full use of that liberal arts education.
That's right. Thank goodness you got to use it before the student loans were paid off, which is wonderful. That's
the student loans were paid off a long time ago because I got very lucky.
Oh well, there you go.
Megan, I always want to ask you: is that a Wham stand behind you?
It's two 3D? Of them. I have the little spinner rack, and then I have the double duty spinner rack.
Cool. And I want one of those, but it will cost me an arm and a leg to get into Canada, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to smuggle one.
I'm sure Matt could work with you. They're a very lovely human being.
Megan is to Wham stand like, I don't know, my mom in the 80s was to Herbalife. She loved her Wham stand. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I fully admit that these things are like addictive and probably take up a little bit too much of my time when I go through his catalog. I'm like, oh, I don't have a Dynamite logo yet. How am I going to show off my Ignition Press book if I don't have an Ignition Press one? There's this indie series I really love. Could you make me one really obscure magnet for it, please, Matt? Thank you.
I have a very diverse bingo card in front of me, but multi-level marketing jokes was not on it.
And that was the voice of Gabe Yoakum. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, a tip of the imaginary
I am actually kind of proud of that one. I pulled I think I structured that joke really well in the moment. Like,
it was really good.
I'm really glad that one was recorded. I know. Brian, my partner in all of this. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Let me show you what I did last week.
Oh,
I made the Star Wars logo out of Lego.
Wow.
It's a set, and my wife got it for me for my birthday, and I put it together. I built Star in one night and Wars in the other night, and it's awesome. I love it. sits behind me, super happy.
I'd like to now introduce the only person who's likely to say something even nerdier than that in this hour, Mr. Producer Kyle. How you doing, my friend?
Not bad. And I think I figured out Blake's compression rate problems, and now I just have to figure out which settings across multiple different PDF compression formats you could have to change.
And he did it,
Brian.
Immediately he got nerdier.
Nice,
That's
nice,
amazing.
nice.
Boop, boop, beep, beep.
We could probably just import it into Adobe Acrobat and then just export it.
That's what needs to happen. If I had Acrobat, Acrobat costs
It's
money.
even
yeah,
better if you download the PDF, then export the PDF into PowerPoint, then export it from PowerPoint into PDF, then put it into Adobe and compress it even further. You can get to like 1 meg.
Also costs money. Guys,
Wow.
This is what everybody's waiting for. This is what we lost Gabe. He
no
fell
one
asleep.
tells you when you get a job in comics, you can't buy comics anymore. A, because of deadlines. B, because you're buying software to fix everybody's.
And
shows.
if only the a certain network that we're on already paid for all of this software, and I just would give Blake the freaking logins.
Oh, he did do that. I got to do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Blake, the real truth about being in the comics industry and comics is that you have no time to read them, because I have a pile of shame. I used to have like a stack of shame, and now it's close to becoming a long box of shame that sits next to my desk.
That is it. 100%.
I read 22 single issues on Saturday alone.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It helps that the sports ball football game that I was watching was not all that exciting.
Wow.
So like I'm cheering for my team and being like, oh, so this is what happened in A High Strangeness. Like, or, oh, hey, this is Death to Pachuco. Oh, hey, they scored points. Okay.
So what you're saying is I should turn on the Wizards game and read comics, so that way it's a little bit more bearable than watching the worst team in the NBA. Got it. Excellent.
Maybe that's
How about that? How about that sports ball game between the Canadian team and the American team, though? Holy mackerel!
I heard that was a thing that happened.
Dude, it was heartbreaking, but it was awesome. It was such a good game. It was a great series.
I was yelling at my TV, waking up everybody else, like in the neighborhood, in the 10th inning of Game 7.
But see,
because I wanted the Toronto team, the Canadian team, to win so bad.
Jeremy, I tried really hard to bring up your comment, and they are just steering away from the conversation.
No, I
barely
feel
read
so
three
Jeremy,
comics.
that's just it. I don't. The only things that I get a chance to read, or no, I take that back. When I do finally have downtime, I really have a hard time reading comics, but it's only because my work time is all about reading comics. Like that's what we do for a living. Is that like you have to make sure that you read the books and give either we're assessing them for whether or not they want to be a client, or we're see what notes they are for a client. Like it just when it becomes about work. As much as you love it, it's so hard to do it in the time that you're not working. You know,
exactly.
Well,
you build a Kickstarter page all day, and then like working for Adam's awesome, but it's we are in a fast paced and busy environment, and you do that all day, and you're in all these meetings, and when you walk away from the desk, especially if it's a late night, I love comics with all my heart. The first note on my mind when I walk away from the desk is not like, let's grab that hardcover, let's grab that stack, let's dive into it. It's just I got to separate. That is the bummer, but we still have a really cool job, so we can only complain about it like a little.
I know.
Well, like when I read for fun, like I look for books with more pages of annotations and bibliography pages and footnotes and stuff than I do content. Like I read a really interesting book that was like 600 pages on the 1968 election. Total nonfiction, but like I find, especially now more than ever, I can't sell comics I haven't read. Like I don't have that skill anymore. Especially when I'm selling them through a webcam, right? So I need to know what happens in the book before I can sell it to somebody else. So I read for work with the total intent of I'm not keeping this book, but I've had to read it so I can tell you what happens. So
if you just logged on in about 5 minutes, we're going to start our actual live show. And I promise you it won't be just us bitching about not having time to read comics. Bitching about the
language jar
compression files, or
We're 9 minutes and 45 seconds in. He can swear now.
Okay.
Speaking of comics, I was cleaning up my office the other day, and this lovely Joe Keating
Man, this book is so good. This is one of my favorite comics of all time. It's so good.
I need to read this because every time if we post like a reel with Joe in it, or when we're talking about CTM or someone always pops up and mentions this book, and they're like, "This is one of my favorite books. It's amazing."
It's amazing, especially like it was such a. So Glory was just like a Wonder Woman ripoff from Rob Liefeld, but this series is just. It's so full of monsters and spooks and it's so gross and I love it. I love everything about it. It's so good.
But have you read this?
Wow.
And that just came out last week, didn't it? I recognize that cover.
Was that from Double Take?
I know that logo in the corner.
Look at you.
I placed those ads in Previews magazine once upon a time.
Look at you.
Well, Bill was very big on using people that had what he called sort of tradecraft experience, not spy experience, but that book took place in a radio station. I worked in radio for 7 years, and so he gave me a story credit or two. That was fun.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
See, if you read
Probably the only credit you ever got for working in radio.
That's outside of the $8.50 an hour. You're absolutely correct.
and all the Rush you can listen to.
Not all the
It's
Rush.
the country
There's a lot
station
of
from
Rush.
Chicago to South Bend, Indiana 105. Gabe Yoakum along with you. Happy Saturday. Thanks for throwing me in your back seat. We got Randy Travis on the way, and Garth Brooks is next. Stay tuned. It's right here,
Hey.
Indiana 105.
Megan, just as an aside, I use my radio connections. I'm seeing Rush in Cleveland when they tour next year through my old radio
Hell yeah.
connections. So all the Rush I can listen to, absolutely.
At the college radio station, that was you could tell the DJ had to hit the lavatory because that's the 9-minute long song. Just all right, we'll be back right after Rush. Boing, run away.
Right. Or Frampton Comes Alive, anything from that record.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That
Well,
1 a.m.
All of which would be more appropriate for a hot yoga class than
Michael McDonald.
oh, Christopher Cross. Do not give me Christopher Cross. Sorry. That was a
We'll
rant.
talk about this on pre-show chat later on.
That was a
coming up.
Facebook rant that probably should stay there. All right.
It's almost time for the Alice's Restaurant story about having to go to the bathroom in radio, which is Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie, 13-minute song.
Oh, yeah.
It was enough time for you to heat up your Thanksgiving leftovers and eat them before the song was over while you were on the air.
Hey, real
That's
quick,
why they
Kyle,
played it.
You got a question? We got a pre-show
Many
banner question.
thoughts. I'm very, very excited, Jeremy. She is an phenomenal player.
She's very good.
And it's actually who Neil sort of hinted at wanting. So
Awesome. Well, there
I
you
think
go.
hot yogurt's just a bad idea all around.
As
hot
the,
yogurt is a bad idea.
as the resident Canadian, I'm going to blaspheme and say I'm good with all the Rush we currently have. We don't need more Rush.
Oh no! I just
Adam,
want.
speaking of
I just want
Canadian
another
bands,
tour.
I promised Adam I'd ask this question of you, Brian. How do you feel about Bare Naked Ladies?
So I went to school at York, which is the Bare Naked, and I've seen the Bare Naked Ladies 1,000 times. I love the Bare Naked. They're
I
just
was a
goofy and
card-carrying
hilarious.
member of the ladies' room,
Nice.
and I followed them on tour one summer and went to 24 shows.
I think we have to
Nice.
leave that where that is. We're going to come back to that one. And
Yeah,
somebody
we
hit the launch
gotta
button.
circle
It's
back.
2 o'clock. I'm sorry. I've just hit with a Bare Naked Ladies admission in our private chat, and I'm going to need a minute to get over that. My name is Adam Freeman. This is Comic Industry Insiders Live, a weekly podcast, podcast-ish we're probably going to send out the audio file next week, where we talk about the biggest headlines of the week that happen in the comic book industry. We talk about things that are happening behind the scenes, and this week we're actually launching a new segment that we're going to get into here in a minute. But first, let me bring on my partner, the man who truly has his Canadian chops. I think we all learned you are fully Canadian today. Mr.
I'm
Brian
Canadian.
Garside.
Hey, how's it going?
Happy anniversary, my friend.
10 years.
10
I
years.
can't believe it. Yeah. It's scholars are trying to debate exactly when 10 years is. There's a lot of kind of debate around it, but it's either like this week or in the next couple of weeks when actual human beings got to use Managed Comics for the first time.
I think we
Crazy.
generally like to leave that sort of pedantic, scholarly arguing for other, let's say internal correspondence sort of sites.
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah. Yes. We'll let them figure it out at some point.
Oh my God, Blake. All right, this is not the Bare Naked Ladies Hour, I promise. Although now I feel like we are really setting ourselves up for inside jokes the entire time. If I had $1 million, we would be talking about this week's show. What's holiday survival guide? By the way, Blake, world-class slide on this one. This is exactly what a holiday feels like to me. This is there's fires, there's an alien. We're still having to decorate shit, so we decorate the ladder. It's exactly
underneath the ladder, which I'm pretty sure is bad luck.
Well, that's pretty much, yeah, but it's the only place to be safe. Bad luck is the only place to be safe in this economy,
That is true. That is scary, but true.
Well, bad luck in comics, as we talked about last week, was at least at the comic shops, man. Sales are really up, and I think that this holiday season is going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. Terribly, terribly interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
This week, we're going to get into a lot of different stuff. We have our first FOC segment. We have a clip, a little interview that we did with Bink that's coming up. They are the folks that are helping out people who work in comic shops and in bookstores. We have a lot of our regular shtick and a whole lot of new shticks that we're going to be trotting out. But first, shall we talk about the Prana Bullet? I promise this week, if you come here every week, this is the last time we're going to do it twice. So this time I'm only going to do it once. The Prana Bullet. It's a newsletter that we put out every Friday about the comic book industry, where we bring you all of the links that we think are important, the things that are shifting in our industry, and trying to keep you up to date. Every Friday, as soon as Megan gets me guilted completely into doing the essay, we go ahead and send this out, usually by the end of the day every Friday. So if you want, go to pranadm.com and sign up. We'll get you the very next one, or use that QR code, because as I remember testing it, it worked. It's been a little while though, because I'm currently concerned that it won't.
Or you could just go to pranadm.com and click on the button that says
PRANA, D as in dog, M as in man.com. Dogman. The Dogman generation.
There you go. Pranadogman.com.
There you go. Thank you, whoever put that into the chat. Let's get into some headlines, my friend. I think it was a weird week in that we had a hard time finding stuff to really talk about here, right?
Yeah, it was a quiet week, which is good, and it's to be expected kind of before the you guys have got Thanksgiving, like I can't remember, in 7 weeks or 2 weeks or 8 months.
3 weeks. Third Thursday of the November is when the proper time to have Thanksgiving is.
Sorry, they've already started Black Friday sales, so I have no idea when it is anymore. Literally November 1st, Black Friday sales started. I don't get it.
Wait for our Black Friday episode. We haven't done one of those yet. We're gonna get into that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. You know what? We are going to be talking about FOC, in fact. But first, we're going to talk just shortly. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I don't know if you clocked this story, but there was a retailer who was giving out comics in what is called, what are they called now? The like trunk that happens in I don't know. Anyway,
Trick or Trunk, I think it was
Trick or
called.
Trunk. That's what it is. Where people get together in a parking lot and they're giving stuff away for kids in costumes. It's cute, right? Trunk or Treat. Thank you, Jeremy.
Trunk or Treat. That's it.
That's right.
I called it Trick or Trunk.
Yes, good job, Blake. This particular one, a retailer went and was giving away free comics and gave away this issue of Grendel Tales. This is interesting because when it got home, a parent looked at it and posted online that what she saw was inappropriate for her child.
Mhm.
And I would say Grendel Tales, I am a huge fan of Grendel. I love Grendel. And I will say that there are many, and I'm a pretty open parent. I would not hand this to my kids. I'm not going to lie, right? But to my mind, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, to my mind, what this goes to is the fact that we do not currently have one body who is deciding what is made available for these kinds of events, right? In the past, we relied on people like Diamond to say, here are a bunch of books that we're going to do for Halloween. They're going to be, you'll be able to give them away. There was some refinement. Granted, there were some problems with it, right? But there was always somebody who was saying, yes or no. Nah, yeah, maybe not. And there were sometimes very obvious ones. Megan loves to pull these skeletons out of the closet because she worked there. But there are times when some books would get through that were not appropriate. But for the most part, there was that sort of underlying curation. And we don't have that right now.
I got to push back on that because there was a lot of Trick or Read books that were made available this week for this. And it's exactly what you're talking about. I'm actually just stalling while I share my screen because I've got the wrong screen up right now. But yeah, there's a store on AITP about the books that were out this month for Trick or Read. So there was a Spidey Amazing Sprint. They all had very prominent, like I gave away the Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and the X-Men 97s. They both said T+. So I gave them to some kids that were a little younger, but I read them and they were fine. I also gave some Archie stuff that was actually that may have been Free Comic Book Day, but there's stuff. This dude was just chucking his back issues that he wanted to get rid of to kids.
It was a woman.
Yeah, sorry.
That was arrested.
A dude can be a guy or a girl.
There you go. Okay,
don't gender stereotype me.
Oh, I'm not kind of.
But I didn't even share my screen, did I?
Oh, there we go.
Show the stuff. So yeah, there was a bunch of books that were made available through PRH this year, and they all had very obvious ratings on them. So like I said, I grabbed the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and the X-Men 97s. We gave away about 100 of them on Halloween Eve, and then we also gave away a bunch of Free Comic Book Day stuff for littler kids. So we had a bunch of those guys around too. But yeah, like. That's different than just grabbing a bunch of back issues and giving them out to kids. And when you do that, you have to be cognizant of what there is there.
All of this goes to moral of the story. Our silent in the chat co-host, Mr. Jeremy Shore. Moral of the story: review the comics you're planning to give away at any event. It's not worth going to jail over. Truly.
No.
And the fact that we're in a period right now where people can and will be arrested for this kind of thing. We're going through a cultural moment where you have to be careful with that. And that's not a political statement about whether it should or should not be. It's a fact.
It's a statement of fact.
You could go to jail, as this person has proven to all of us this week. So, 100%. Support the CBLDF. I think we're going to go out to them and see if we can't get them on a show to talk about how to protect your store, how to protect yourself as a publisher in this era. But we're definitely going to be on that because, I mean, as Unknown is pointing out, like, are there any age restrictions on person comics? There's not. There is no body that is governing this for many, many reasons. It's a really interesting question of why that would be so difficult and why it's probably not a good idea, but also what that sort of protection would be. It's a fascinating subject, just on a logistical point of view, not even beyond the politics of it. But
yeah, it's really interesting you say that, because when we launched comic previews a couple weeks ago, I was just kind of going through a bunch of pages, and I went, oh, I've somehow hit the porn stash. And so we actually had to go in and like flag stuff as an adult that's not currently flagged as adult. Like,
Right.
for some reason, Penthouse Comics is not flagged as adult in the system.
Fascinating. How that would be. Like,
I
is that
don't know.
Well, again, that goes back to
know if it
metadata
was-
being the
exactly.
thing that's going to be our problem.
And that can get you in a lot of trouble, especially places like California where there's laws against, what you can and can't show. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing particularly racy, but you never know.
Still,
you never know.
You never want to get yourself into that position. Also, you never want to get yourself into a position where you're making, parenting decisions for other parents.
Absolutely.
That's always the challenge.
I'll tell you though,
it's kind of up to you anyway. It was up to you to look at it before your kid got it. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you should.
I tabled it on Sunday, and I had the Revival Compendium out. Like, unfortunately, at the edge of the table in the beginning of the morning, and this girl who was like 12 started, maybe 10, started leafing through it, and I'm like, oh god, she's about to get to the disembodied torso. Oh god. And I just went over and I said, hey, can I see that for a second? I got to show this to somebody. And then I took it away and showed it to my son and went, let's not leave that one so close to kids seeing, because that could be very troubling.
Yeah.
As a retailer, you got to consider where things are sometimes.
Exactly. If all this was easy, everybody'd do it, and this is one of the things that makes it a little harder. So yeah. I do not envy retailers having to deal with this, but also, as a parent, I have to say, like, I totally understand and want to make sure that I'm the one making those decisions for my kid. So,
yeah,
I find that way in. Awesome. Well, that was awkward and weird. Let's talk about this. This is my favorite. We talk about what news stories we're going to cover each week, and Brian was having a real problem with how Marvel is handling their FOCs over the holidays. And when somebody was asking, "What is this about?" I said, "This is something we deal with every single year." And I think that there's many reasons why, but will you explain why we're dealing with this year? What's going on? What is the struggle?
We're ordering a lot of stuff that we haven't even seen the first issue of, and we're ordering now 2 and 3s without having seen the results of number 1. And there's not, like, I get it. There is 100% logistical calendar reasons why this is happening. 100%. But do not put all of the onus on us, the retailers, to take all of the burden and all of the risk. So I hear what you're saying, but maybe we make these things fully returnable. Maybe we have, the bundle programs in place for this kind of stuff. Like, DC is stepping up and increasing the amount of bundles that they're doing for stuff. Marvel is trying it with, I forget what it's called, the sequel to One World Under Doom. But I don't know. It's still like these FOCs are getting crazy. We're ordering, I think, 8 weeks out for the next one, and we're not going to have any sales data on anything. We're going to have subs data, which is great and helpful, but I'm ordering real close to the bone because, first of all, it's a lean time to begin with.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, it's chaos. But like you said, like, this is not the first year, which to me means that the publishers should have figured this out by now. Like, again, it's
especially in this day and age where there's no governing body saying, we're going to FOC on this date for these weeks. We are going to have a skip week. We are not going to have a skip week. All of those things that happen every year, because we're dealing with weekly product that happens in a holiday season where those holidays happen on a different day of the week each year. We struggle with this every time. And I would say that it's the biggest problem really comes in with the fact that you've got 2 different forms of businesses that are involved in this industry. We've got the corporate side, right? People who work a 9 to 5 job and have regular holidays, and they have regular vacations, and they have regular personal time, PTO, all of those things that they have as part of their salary and why they took that job. And then we have all of these independent entrepreneurs, people who own their own shops, who have chosen that way of life, who have chosen that independence, and as a result of that, really don't get as much time off. I mean, if ever get any real time off. And so you end up with this strange friction that happens between these two parties. I've had some really fascinating conversations. We're not going to get into it here, but I've had some really fascinating conversations with people about the current Kickstarter. What's the word I'm looking for? The staff of Kickstarter are currently on strike. And one of the pieces of why they're on strike is that they're asking for the 4-hour workday that they've always had to become locked in as policy for new employees. And there's pushback from the corporate side. They're now on strike, and all of these independent companies are being asked to honor that strike or not cross the picket line, or definitely, only work within the bounds of what can be done automated wise. But you end up with this interesting friction where you have these people who are working in a corporate, well, yeah, okay. But again, I do not want to get into the details of why that is or why it shouldn't be. What I think is interesting is the difference between the corporate structure that is necessary for all of these independent businesses and all these independent businesses who don't get that time off. There is no independent publisher out there working a 4-day work week and thinking that they're going to be putting out on a regular basis. I don't know them if they are out there. So I really find it's an interesting dichotomy between these two forces that ends up with these little spaces. So holidays every week become a problem because people who work in a corporate environment, they're going to take most of December off. It's just the way it is. And so they still have to be continually publishing. Whereas the stores are dependent on the weekly product, so they don't get a chance to take those holidays off. It's a fascinating problem. I don't think that there is a good answer for that, but I do think that you're right, and Jeremy is right in talking about overprinting and handling different ways of handling these things. It as a publisher, it's coming. You need to have some sort of plan in place, and then maybe you go back in January and you fix it.
Yeah, I'd love to tap on this because that is definitely one way that we could solve some of this. Like, the publishers should overprint on these things so that we can go back and order more. Because again, the majority of the risk is now that if you don't get your ordering right, like, man, the number of times that I've had shortages or damages that don't get filled by one of the two big distributors is stunning. Like, I would say 20%. And their response is, oh, sorry, there'll be a second printing soon. Well, that's not good enough. You guys literally jammed something into a box, and I'm expected to, don't get me started. But yeah, at least overprint on these things so that you show that you have some faith in them, because you're expecting us to take a lot of faith.
But even those things, there's good reasons why they don't overprint. Yes, I always say the cheapest decision you can make as a publisher is when to turn off the printing press, because it's just expensive to get it going. It's less expensive to overprint. However, you still have holding charges from the distributor. You still have the fact that if you have a book that is not selling and it's sitting there, that's a political problem internally, and most staff members will going to cover their asses politically first anyway. Like, it's always there's sellouts are a marketing tool.
And I'm not saying do it all the time. I'm saying for this next 3 weeks, let's help us out a little bit.
I think that you're right. There should be something in place, right? There's something in place to make sure that they can all have their holiday at home, and you can still have product to sell. Yeah, that's really the key. So 100%. Man, we are just digging in deep on the really dirty places this week. This is fun.
Love it. You and I haven't had a good fisticuff in a while. I don't think in the history of this show we've really had a heavy argument, and we've had a couple good ones in the real world.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
We've come down on different sides. We should have an all maybe like a New Year's Day kind of thing. We should just jump in there and just
oh my gosh, your other idea that you sent me, and we do it. Yeah.
Right.
All right. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. 2 drink minimum. It's coming in.
That's right. That's
you
right.
should only come in ready if you come in and play, because we're not going to
hot.
get recorded.
I'll even smuggle some bourbon in.
Well, let's dig in, shall we? I know we have a couple of segments we're going to get into. Oh yeah, we're going to be dealing with this now. How is the schedule working out this year? Do you know?
I want to say that Christmas falls on a Wednesday. It's pretty darn close to a Wednesday. It's either a Wednesday or a Tuesday. I will actually use a calendar.
Why don't we?
No, I'm totally wrong. It's on a Sunday. It's on a Sunday.
True.
No,
but still, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve on a Wednesday. That's always. I mean, Christmas Eve is on Wednesday. New Year's Eve is on a
Christmas
Wednesday.
Eve is Wednesday.
Always a struggle. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be, but it's a tough every year. We know it's going to be tough. So you plan around it. If you are a store, just consider the fact that you either you are counter programming and you're making up your own stuff that happens on that day, or you're just letting it go and you're saying, we'll get through it. We should do a Black Friday episode, though. By the way, we should definitely.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes, for sure.
Okay, and that's coming up. Don't let us forget, chat, that we need to do a Black Friday episode. Because it is the 4th. It ends up being the 4th Thursday of November this year. So we're gonna have to. The 28th will be Black Friday. So we'll be having that coming up soon. We can talk about strategies. If you're a retailer and you're listening to this, I would love to hear your strategies for how you handle Black Friday on your stores, because it is always that thing that I, as a retailer, I always struggled. Do I have a sale that day? Do I just sell straight? Do I make it a big? Maybe do I put out refreshments? Whatever. Like, do I open early? It's always a big question. So
yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, so this one was yours. I wanted to hear, you did this piece a while back, and I know that we talked about this, why this is important, and it actually dovetails nicely into what we're talking about.
Yeah, last year I actually did a post on Managed Comics about creating a holiday gift guide, because if you're using an online tool like Shopify, it's super easy to do. And then you can take that thing and make that one asset that you can use multiple places. So you can use that for an email campaign. You can also use it for a print campaign. From the Circana slides that we saw, they mentioned that the biggest gift buying crowd that is kind of increasing is grandparents. So grandparents love to buy gifts for kids. Grandparents love to buy books. Guess what comics are? Comics are books. So let's get this stuff going. So I put together, last year I put together a page on my website for this. And sorry, too many buttons. Sorry, guys. I should have left the buttons alone. So yeah, I refreshed this just today. In Shopify, it is super easy to put something like this together. What's really, really nice is this is also very, very SEO optimized. So search engines are going to find this page on the internet about my holiday gift guide. So I just wrote a little blurb, we're here to help you find that special gift for that special person. And then I went through and just found things for little kids. So I love these Ordinary People Change the World books. And, we grew up with Mr. Rogers, and the world needs one thing right now. It's kindness. Tell the story of an amazing man to the next generation of dreamers. And just put together things that make easy gifts for the Doug Man graduates. So your kids that are graduating out of public school and into the high school system, this is their superhero universe, the absolute stuff. So have a quick and easy way for people to find that. 80s cartoon kid, we've got some G.I. Joe and Energon stuff. And then I added just a bunch of toys that we have and games at the end. Now you can take this same thing and create a printout flyer. And when the confused grandparent comes in, you can hand that printed out flyer of, here's some of our big recommendations. You walk them over to the big, holiday gift guide pyramid that you have of all your holiday things. And if we think back to like the Christmas wish book, the Sears Christmas wish book when we were kids, right? Like that thing was the thing that you stole from the front porch before anybody else could get to it, and you hid it and you just went through it and found all the things. Grabbing that like primal kind of feeling and building something. I think the people that build a bigger version of this, where it's, multiple pages, are going to be the ones that win. I know Jen at the Dragon does a really, really nice multi-page gift guide every year that has, the stuff that they're recommending there. So yeah, this is huge.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I've no doubt that Jen has that lockdown.
yeah. She does a really, really good job with some of that marketing stuff for sure.
I wanted to bring in somebody who's actually going to lead us also into our next segment. But when we were talking about this, our good friend Megan had a really nice piece of feedback on dealing with a household, a mixed household, and our the big shopping platform. What was it you were saying, Megan?
Well, Brian had mentioned the Amazon catalog comes out now, much like the Sears one did. And I said, do you want to know what happens when you put a 3-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old together with an Amazon catalog to share? They absolutely go feral over it. They all want to circle the things. They want to tear out the pages. But Amazon's catalog is exclusively merchandise. What better way than to show off what your unique shopping experience is at your store than like Brian's lists with the adorable Brad Meltzer, Chris Eliopoulos books, which starts baby nerd and goes up, because then they can one day they will get into crisis events with Brad Meltzer and stuff. And
exactly. 100%.
Yeah,
awesome.
So
well, thank you, Brian. That we should give a link to that post. I know that you did that. We should make sure that we get that into the chat, maybe even while we're going through this next segment. But 100%. I think the big takeaway from all of this is that the holidays come up every year, and as people who run businesses, we need to be thinking ahead about how we are going to be creating those opportunities for our business that the big businesses have staff that are trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So 100%. Awesome. Speaking of what happens this time of year, I know that just to deal with a big political football, I know that there were some real questions about how people are going to be dealing with the holidays and how the economy is going to be dealt with. And one of our biggest advocates for this, one of our biggest support systems inside of the comics and book selling, has become BINC. The Book Industry Charitable Foundation. These are folks that are bringing, that are supporting people who do this for a living. And I know that you talked to BINC a little bit. You want to set that up, and maybe we can hit the go button on that recording?
For sure. I wanted to talk to Judy and Kathy to find out a little bit more about how BINC can help people that are working in the hardest part of the industry right now for the holidays, the retailers and the retailer associates. And if things are tough, how BINC can help them get through this time of the year and all the year long.
Awesome.
So it was a lot of fun and so helpful.
Can't wait to watch it. All right, let's hit that video, shall we?
Thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to hear some more about how BINC can help our bookseller and our comic retailer friends throughout the rest of the end of the year, because we know it's going to be a busy season. Would you mind introducing yourselves and explaining who you are and a little bit more about what BINC is for those not in the know?
I'm Judy. I am Judy Kelchick, the program manager. I'm the person that talks to everybody who's looking for assistance from BINC. And with us is Kathy.
Yeah, I'm Kathy Bartson, and I'm the development director for the BINC Foundation. So I'm the person who raises the money, and Judy is the person who distributes the money to everybody who calls who's going through a crisis.
We love having you on, and we've already done a full hour episode with Judy about Bink on the Comic Industry Insiders Prime show, so be sure to check that out if you want more details after this interview. So what exactly is Bink, and who can apply for services when they're in a time of crisis?
When bad things happen, big public disasters like fire, flood, or hurricane, Bink can help the store get reopened and work around the areas that insurance doesn't cover. But for every really big, showy disaster that you hear, we have 8 private disasters that come in. And those are things like medical or housing insecurity. They can be a loss of a job. And there's probably the best way I can explain is it's free. You don't pay taxes on the grants, and you don't have to pay them back because they are grants. Bink pays the people expecting money in the disaster so that it's clean and you don't have to worry about it. We take care of all of it for you. As long as you work in a book or a comic shop, a real physical one, brick and mortar, I like to call it, as long as you work there for at least 90 days, you qualify. You don't have to join anything. It can be the owner. It can be the newest part-time person. There's no minimum hours requirement. Just reach out. We can help you.
This isn't something where somebody who might be embarrassed to tell their boss they're going through a crisis has to go and get permission for first. Like you said, just 90 days employment.
Absolutely. We qualify that by seeing, I'll ask you for a paycheck stub. That way I don't need to make a phone call. If there is a different method of payment, then I would have to ask for a supervisor to vouch for you, but we do it all privately. And as a matter of fact, you don't get transferred around to a bunch of people. Everything is done one by one. We talk it through together and we arrive at the best way to help you together.
It's hard to ask for help. It's one of the hardest calls people make. So we make it really easy for stores. We have a QR code. So like you said, if you're embarrassed or you aren't sure of who to ask, you can just call or reach out to us directly by using a QR code, going on our website. You actually do talk to Judy. Every single person who calls talks to Judy.
Last year, that was over 416 people.
They're in the thick of it, and Judy can calmly walk them through every step of the way for the crisis that they are facing, which is really quite amazing. And she's remarkable at it.
That is so amazing to hear, especially because I think the winter holiday season can be particularly challenging for some people for a variety of reasons, especially for people who are on the front lines servicing those who are trying to make the holidays better, like the retail team members. Does Bink offer any sort of mental health services for those having a rough time during the holidays?
Yes, we do. We offer free access to BetterHelp. That's probably the best one that's known. You don't need to demonstrate any financial need. You just want to try it. I recommend it to people when we talk because it's really nice to have somebody you don't see every day that you can talk things through with. And we do that not only for the employees and the owners, we will do it for their families as well, because we know that when a crisis happens or when somebody's coping with doubt, depression, anger, hopelessness, it affects everybody around them. So as long as if they want it and anybody in their family 13 or older, we can give them access to it too. Bing covers all the costs. They get 4 sessions. They have 6 months to use it. And if it's doing well for them and money gets in the way with them continuing, they just give me a call and we work something out.
And in fact, we can also, if something happens in a store that affects the whole entire staff, Judy can arrange for a person to go to the store and help all the store members. So say there's a death of somebody in the store, or there's violence or threats against the store, which is happening more and more. Judy can work with the store manager, the store owner, and help provide access to support that way as well.
Yeah, we'll get somebody local. Again, people experiencing things all at the same time can lead to trauma, and they can heal from trauma together. So we cover that too.
Right now, I feel with food insecurity, with the holiday seasons, every month there's an elaborate meal planned. Is food insecurity something that Bink can help provide grants for?
Yes-ish. We have a lot of wraparound services. For instance, if you take a look at our website or our social, you can see that we're talking about Feeding America to help people find a local food bank. Because Bink pays the people expecting money from the grantee, it's difficult for us to find, like, pay a grocery store for them, right? So doing it directly and buying the food for them isn't something that we're really able to do on a national level because we help people in all 50 states and the US territories. However, we could assist, like I said, things like that. Food insecurity doesn't always happen in a vacuum. We could cover a different bill that would then free up the money for them to buy it themselves locally at the best place for them and the best amounts for them. I am getting questions, do I pay the rent this month or do I get groceries? Do I go to the doctor? Do I go to the dentist and get a cracked tooth done? Or do I keep the lights on? Those circumstances, we can help and cover the essential expenses like rent, mortgage, utilities, and in some cases, other medical bills even. And that way, that allows the income that you do have, get you back on track. We can help once within a 12-month period. And our real aim is to get people restored to some equal footing financially.
And Judy can also provide resources locally for folks to find food and their food banks.
It's findhelp.org, and you can find resources both locally and nationally, much more than you can find on a Google search. And it really gives people the control of the situation when they feel helpless.
So I just want to thank you for your time for coming out today. If somebody is lucky enough to not need Bing services, but they want to help their fellow comic fan, comic retailer, bookshop employee, how can we do that? Are there monthly donations? Is there merchandise? What can we do?
Well, Megan, I'm so glad you asked, the fundraising director. So we are going to be launching our year-end campaign, which is our largest fundraising initiative all year, on November 18th. And this year we have a $30,000 match. So if you give, on the first day, second day, third day, until we match up to the $30,000, you will double your donation. So a $10 donation becomes a $20 donation. And this is, we're so grateful because this is our good partners, Penguin Random House, Adventure Keen, and HarperCollins collectively are providing our largest matching gift for the year-end campaign. So you can also sign on to be a monthly donor at the same time, and your donation would be doubled. That's our year-end campaign, and we can pretty much say that the money we raise every year, we distribute every year.
I want to kind of do a shout out to Ani and Image. They both have humble bundles for us going on right now. People are able to buy digital copies of the comics that they perhaps already collect, but they get a chance to read them finally by buying them through Humble Bundle. And we get a donation from that purchase. It's a hugely successful way to support Bink, and especially this time of year, it's an economical way to get stuff for yourself and as gifts. So it's a really great way to make a purchase to help us.
That's great. Thank you so much. And where can we find you or Bink online?
Yeah, so if you want to make a donation, you go to binkfoundation.org. And it's BINC foundation.org.
And at the top of the page, there's also a place that says get help or need help. And you can do that. You can also email me. My name is spelled funny, but it's on the screen, JUDEY at binkfoundation.org.
Oh, spectacular. We're gonna figure out those transitions. Thank you, Megan, for putting that together. I also want to point out that we did in our first group of trading cards, our first merch for Comic Industry Insiders, we focused in on Judy because of the work that they're doing. 400 plus people she talked to last year. That's incredible. That is incredible. Yeah. Anyway.
The Bink auction at Comics Pro is my favorite thing of the year. Like, it's so amazing. And
I know.
Yeah.
I know. 100%. They deserve all the support we can give them. They deserve all the support you can give them. So please be on the lookout for that matching grant. Please be. We have given quite a bit, or I have over the years to Bink. I would say that so far, knock wood, haven't needed it, but I can say that everybody who's watching this, there's a good chance that at some point you're going to need it. In which case, when you don't need it, now is the time to contribute, because we are in this together, and we appreciate all the support they gave us. Thank you, Megan, for doing that. That's big deal. Correspondent now, Megan Marsden.
Add it to the business card.
Awesome. Thank you.
All
right. Let's bring up our what we have a brand new segment. Don't we have a oh wait, are we doing something? Oh yes, that's right. Let's bring to the stage Mr. Keith Davidson. Whoa, I see too many buttons.
Don't push buttons.
Pushing buttons.
We can't
push
buttons.
I'm not allowed. Hey buddy, welcome aboard.
Hey, thanks. It's good to be here.
That's a good looking hoodie you've got there.
I know. I'm representing. Just got this in. Yeah.
Hey, if you're a comics retailer and you whether or not you carry Recca, you should definitely reach out to. All right, I just saw somebody's little snide comment about things I overspend on at the Bink auction. But if you are a comics retailer, and whether you carry Recca or not, you should be reaching out to Keith, because he has your hookup on those incredible hoodies, don't you?
Yeah, happy to send them out. Yep.
I don't know how many.
Really?
Oh yeah, well, I know. We might even be able to get them across the border. We'll see. I don't know.
Hey, you guys got a hat across the border. So
that's right. We did.
Okay.
I love it. Awesome. Keith, what do we have up on FOC this week, my friend?
Sure. So in the debut of our final cut segment, I'm going to be talking with Fred Van Lente about our upcoming issues, or issue number 8 of The Future Is. The Future Is F, or The Future Is blank, or whatever you would like to call it. And also The Future Is trade paperback. It's a compact size, 288 page, ginormous book for only $9.99. So these are things that are on FOC this coming week. And in order to support them, we started a new segment called The Final Cut, and I got a chance to talk with the writer of the series about all kinds of things. If people don't know, the writer of The Future is Fred Van Lente. I'm going to give a little bio here because I don't want to miss anything. But Fred is the New York Times best-selling, multiple Harvey and Ringo Award-nominated writer of comics, including Marvel Zombies, G.I. Joe, The Amazing Spider-Man, Archer and Armstrong, and many more. His original graphic novel, Cowboys and Aliens, was made into the feature film. His nonfiction comics, Action Philosophers and Action Presidents, have won awards from the American Library Association and the Theodore Roosevelt Association. So I had an opportunity to talk with Fred about all kinds of different things, about what we have going on in the book, starting with issue number 8, and his feelings on just, collecting it in trade.
Awesome. Well, let's jump straight in then. Let's take it out.
Cool.
Hello, Keith.
So we're here to talk about The Future Is, the monthly sci-fi comic book from Recca Comics. How would you describe the story of The Future Is? What's it all about?
So The Future is kind of the pitch that we've settled on. Mission Impossible meets Black Mirror. You have a bunch of hackers, or freebooters as they're called, working in a future where basically the government as we know it doesn't really exist. Mega corporations and tech bros run everything. You don't have rights anymore. You have terms of service. But this band, known as the Black Mountain Band, led by the mysterious Wheeler, who you see Paul Pope is drawn on my t-shirt, goes and helps out people out of technological nightmares. A retailer called it Black Mirror but hopeful, and I really like that description, so I'm stealing it and using it quite a bit.
Now the series is called The Future Is, with 6 asterisks afterwards.
So naturally, the assumption might be that the phrase is "the future is effed."
I can't get my wife to refer to it any other way.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the open-ended nature of that title, though?
So one of the things that Jason Blanchard, one of the main guys over at Recca, wants to do, he's often said, is to get hackers into comics and comics into comic shops and comic shops, into hacking. And one of the ways we do that is every unique issue of The Future has what is called in the InfoSec world these CTF challenges, these capture the flag challenges. And there's a bunch of them, and they are unique to, my understanding is they are unique to the individual issues. So it is sort of penalizing trade waiters to a certain degree, because if you don't get the individual issues, you're going to miss out on those CTF challenges. One of the CTF challenges that happens every issue is there's a different 6 character code that is what the asterisks actually stand for. So you can call it The Future is effed, but technically every issue, The Future is something else.
The publisher Recca Comics, which for people that don't know is hacker spelled backwards, is the comics publishing division of Black Hills Information Security. And The Future is meant to bridge a gap between the huge cybersecurity community and the comics community. And that's something that you effectively tackle in the narrative itself, delivering a story that speaks both to the hacker community while also being accessible to comic readers. How do you walk that fine line with your storytelling?
Well, I've got Jason to lean on, Jason Blanchard and John Strand, the founder of Black Hills and another co-owner of Recca, co-founder of Recca, and they are both. John Strand is a superstar in the InfoSec community, so I have their entire knowledge base to work from. Bo is basically our hacking consultant. It's very exciting. I write a lot of Crom comics. Like I started out writing like supervillain comics, like the supervillain team up and the Silencers and Taskmaster, and so I'm sort of known for that. A lot of what the Black Mountain group does is sort of run scams on people, and a huge inspiration for me is the original Mission Impossible TV show, where every episode was this done in one of the team, putting one over on, an evil government or criminals or spies or whatever it was. So that's what I really like, is really what hacking is all about, and what the CTF challenges are supposed to encourage is creative problem solving, right? And so you've got to come up with ways that nobody else has thought of before, and that's what we do as fiction writers, as science fiction writers, and that's what people in the real life InfoSec community have to do every day.
Now, this is a series that is intentionally designed to be 60 issues in length. As a writer, can you speak to the freedoms or perhaps the challenges that such a sizable blank canvas provides you?
Yeah, it's terrifying and exciting. I really enjoy it. We sat down at the beginning of 2025 and did a writers group with Adam Freeman and Joe Keating, our terrific editor, and worked on it with Black Hills and came up with something that we really loved. And we have an endpoint in mind. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be surprises for us along the way, because I think the only way we can surprise you as readers is if we surprise ourselves as creators, and that's part of that constant creative process. But it's pretty cool, if assuming, knock on wood, this would be the longest series I've ever done.
Talking specifically about issue number 8, so we're headed into a new story arc for The Future Is. What will the rebellious Black Mountain freebooters face in this next adventure? And what can you tell us about the villain?
Well, what's exciting about this storyline is that up until this point in the series, we've seen the Black Mountain crew be on offense. They've been going after bad actors. And now they are playing defense. Someone is attacking something called the Indigo Institute, which is a research institute trying to help nonverbal children, kids who don't speak through various means. The mysterious founder of this institute claims that she has figured out a way to let these kids speak to each other telepathically. A mysterious villain called Lulz, L-U-L-Z, who you've seen a bunch of covers, some of the fantastic covers of this issue, is attacking the Institute, taking over the security mechs, blowing stuff up, sort of dancing right up into murder to stop the Institute's job, and so it's up to the Black Mountain team to stop the attacks, and for that matter, figure out who's behind them.
So this new story arc welcomes back Mario D'Alessandro as the interior artist, and we're now adding B cover variants each month to showcase his impressive skills. What do you love most about Mario's work?
Well, he's just so expressive. Like, that's the main thing I prize in any comic book artist is acting. And he's fantastic at it. Both Ennio Buffi, our other regular artist, and Mario are both terrific at that. So it's just a huge joy. It's one of the most rewarding things you can do as a comic book artist is sort of work with someone you're not familiar with and see them grow. And I've just seen Mario grow. His first issue of TFI, I think, was 3, which was the Eli Origin issue. And that was fantastic. And he just keeps getting better and better. And this whole arc just looks fantastic. He's about halfway done with it already. And what I've seen so far is just spectacular. Joe and I are often like verklempt that we're worried that Marvel and DC are going to poach our artists at any moment. But that's just how good they are. And that's just, you can't keep them locked in a box.
Day and date with the release of The Future Is number 8, Rekka Comics is releasing a 288-page trade paperback of issues 1 through 7, which is printed in the very popular compact size and priced only at $9.99, which should be a very appealing introduction to the series for fans. What would you say to new readers coming aboard for the first time?
You're in for a hell of a ride. The trade encompasses the first, like you said, the first 7 issues, but the first issue, like I said, was about 4 issues. So really it's almost a year's worth of material between 2 covers. And it's really 2 storylines. The first one is a heist they have to pull on the moon, at a casino at the moon, which was our first issue. And then what's fun is that we look back in the issues 2 through 7 are the origin of the group and how they got together, and basically focuses on each individual member and the first big heist they pull together.
And do you have any words that you'd like to express to retailers who are supporting the series and hopefully will be supporting the upcoming trade paperback as well?
I just got back from Baltimore and New York Comic Con, 2 terrific cons, where I just met all sorts of fans of the series, and just for a brand new series, that level of support was fantastic. And since I know they can pretty much only get it through retailers, that means retailers are supporting us. I just want to say thank you. We're going to do our best to have to bring customers in your store for outside, maybe your normal readership, and grow your customer base a bit more by bringing in folks from the InfoSec community, or those who are interested in that kind of background. And we've been gotten a lot of fans of science fiction comics, fans of mine. It's a big tent we're trying to build here, and we appreciate you coming along for the ride.
Excellent work, Keith. Look at that.
Thanks. Yeah. It's always fun to talk to Fred. He's just a charismatic guy. I've worked with him for years, and so I just love being able to talk comics with him, and this book in particular. So we have a slide up right now that shows the product codes for through Lunar. One thing I should point out is that for issue number 8, we're offering cover A by Jay Lee, a cover B by the interior artist Mario D'Alessandro, and then we have a 10-copy bundle, which is priced for retailers at only $10 for the whole bundle of 10. So that's $1 your cost per book. There's no buy-in, there's no hoops to jump through. Buy if you get that pack, you can try and sell them all, make some money. We've heard of one retailer who's just using them as a free gift with purchase. So buy the trade paperback, and then they get a free issue number 8, and that gets them primed up for the rest of the series. Retailers can use this in a variety of different innovative ways to get people on board.
It also should be noted that this is coming out in the middle of December, when we're talking about, making arrangements for retailers who are dealing with holidays. It's good timing. I'd like to say that we had that figured out. I will tell you, we just found out today, we're probably going to have to push the release date back a week, because it turns out there was a miscommunication about the American Thanksgiving holiday. But that just goes to show, like, all of us are always in real time trying to figure out these calendar issues. Brian, as a retailer, where are we? Is this pitch winning you over, dude?
Yeah, I've supported the crap out of this book since day one, and a lot of my customers are in the tech industry, and so they love this kind of stuff just because it speaks to them. So yeah, this is a winner for me. I think we've got about, with 130 customers, I think about 10% of them right now. I think 12, 13 subscribers to Future Is, which is pretty good for something like this. So yeah,
I love
Absolutely.
it. Awesome. Well, I will take all of that from both of you. I appreciate it, Jeremy and
Thanks, Jeremy.
Brian, for your support of this. And thank you, Keith. We're going to have you back the next time one of our Prana publishers has an FOC. This is hopefully going to be a regular segment. If everybody doesn't, completely hate it, we'd love to have you back in and do some more. Thanks, buddy.
Cool. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. I wanted to use this opportunity, by the way, to bring up, we did a little research without your help. We did a little research to celebrate this big week on the calendar. We went back and we found the original logo. We found your original podcasting setup, your first Facebook post where you mentioned Manage Comics. That was this one right
so
here.
Amazing. Yeah. This is so cool to see. Like even the little drawing sketches that we used to do, like I used to do them with there was a thing called Pencil before the Apple Pencil that was just this big rubber tip on an iPad, and it was really crude, but I loved the way the drawings looked. Like they were just so fast and efficient. But yeah, that was our little guy. I think his name was Melvin Manage Comics.
Melvin,
and that's so cool to see the original pages. That's so neat. Yeah, you guys did some good work there.
Thank you. I did actually find the first version of your website I was able to find was back in April of 2018, I think. And it was I wasn't able to actually get a screen grab. It was kind of rough, but it looked great. I can tell you. So tell us, 10 years in. Where's the number today? How many users?
I haven't checked this week, believe it or not, but last time I checked, it was like 341. But I think there's been a few more this week. We're actually later today, we're actually sending out our first marketing email about Oryx and saying that it's ready for people to sign up. So everything that's happened so far has involved me or somebody else physically signing somebody up to Oryx, and it's got I think it was like 82 users on it right now. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. It's going to be pretty crazy the next little while.
I am too, my friend. I think that the work you've done has been commendable and has definitely helped our industry. And I'm lucky that you started doing it so that we partnered up and we're able to do stuff like this. Yes, hard work is well rewarded. Seriously. Thank you. 10 more years. If not beyond.
I hope so. I don't really have anything else to do if I don't do this. I don't know what I would do.
It's a common theme for us.
My wife said that to me the other day. She's like, if you didn't do Managed Comics, what would you do? And I was like, I don't know. Dig ditches. I like digging. That might be fun.
Terrifying. What is next for Manage?
Well, so we're going to take like 2 weeks to just do some quality of life updates. And then we're going to dive back into comic previews. We're really, really far along in comic previews. But I need a little break to not focus on that for a little while. Actually, I need to focus on it while my team doesn't work on it, because I have to be like 2 weeks ahead of them. So we're going to take a week or two for them to do some other stuff. And I'm going to get back into the customer facing portal for comic previews, I'm excited about that. It's been fun, like reinventing the way that a pull list is done and looking at it from like, as a fan, what are the tools that I would want? And then as a retailer, what are the tools that I want to use with those tools?
Yeah.
Then I got to talk to some publishers about what tools they would want, because that's all part of the plan.
Well,
if you know any publishers, Adam.
I've met a couple.
A Recca or two that, or maybe a Prana. I don't know. if you know it.
Well, we're always, us. We're always hungry for more data. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's going to be some like really, really fascinating data. Like I said the other day, we have 65,000 end users who are pushing through $84 million worth of subscriptions a year. So there's some money in there for folks like you to kind of figure out, when things are happening and what those things are happening.
And how do we maximize those sales for the retailers? How do we get our product in front of those consumers? That's always the challenge, right? We're always doing that.
How do you market at like when the initial solicitation comes out, there's a 3-month window there, or 2-month window where nothing is happening, where you don't have more data coming in until the FOC. There's a huge opportunity there to turn and maximize those marketing dollars. So yeah, I'm super excited. That's the part that really interests me, because if I did have to do something else, it would probably be something marketing related. I do kind of enjoy that stuff. So we'll see.
We're always adjusting. Something else that's coming up that's brand new for our team is Comics the Magazine. We launched this. We kind of soft launched this at New York Comic Con of Baltimore. If you're a regular watcher, reader, listener to this podcast, you will have heard about it. It is our attempt at doing marketing for people who aren't looking at screens. Right? It is, how do you create a magazine that is in print and on store shelves, that celebrates all that is really wonderful about comics? How do we help consumers know about what's coming up? How do we celebrate the unique culture that is comics and comic book stores and everything about comics? It's been a wonderful process. We mentioned Joe Keating. He's been involved in this since the beginning. He and I, and Rico Renzi and Megan, who was on earlier, and Gabe Yoakum, also on earlier. We're busy behind the scenes getting something together. It's going to be out in March. You should go ahead and sign up for the waiting list, where we're going to be, when there are big announcements, we need to know. By the way, every time we bring up the screen, I have to change. I know. It's not 14,000, it's 25,000. 25,000 copies we sold as DCN. But yeah, it has been an incredible process. We've already gotten so much support. If you're a retailer out there, drop us a line at info@pranadm.com and we'll get you 5 copies of this 0 issue that we put out for the stores. We haven't shipped them out yet. If you're waiting, they haven't gone out yet. I personally am probably going to have to package them, so you're going to have to give me a minute. I'm really lousy at that, but we're going to get it done. We'll get those out to you while people are still paying attention, because we really are excited about this and want you to see the thing that we're building, because we think it's going to help some people and it's going to be fun. We're all going to get a chance to sell some magazines and sell some more comics as a result. So, excuse me.
We're going to have to do an episode on this show about how to use stuff like this and ZCN to sell more comics, because these things are key pillars in how we've grown Earth 519 in the last year. And because there's no more print catalog, and there's still a subset of customers that need that print catalog, this is the kind of stuff that giving them helps them discover things that they're not going to find, because Louis Lysandre doesn't surf Bleeding Cool. So he ain't going to find the next hot read that he wants to read. So yeah,
Louis,
I think we should do a whole.
I would love that. I think that's good. And maybe just like a marketing best practices. What does marketing comics look like in 2025?
100%. Right? And like, if you're buying something like this as a bundle, that is a marketing expense. And we can talk about how to get that onto your marketing expense line. And, maybe you spend that over, I don't know, a flappy banner that, sits somewhere and doesn't do anything. Just saying.
Awesome. We do this live show every Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. We also, every week, we do a recorded show, not a virtual panel. I just saw the words and I got stuck on it. We do a podcast where we interview people behind the scenes of the comic book industry, get to know what it is that they know in order to help your business or career in comics. we did a special panel where we brought in experts from all different parts of the production of comics, including an editor, a printer, a distributor, a retailer, a production designer. We talked about all of the different pieces that go into making a comic and the hundreds of people that are employed in getting that comic book out of a writer's brain and into your sales bag whenever you go and buy it at a comic shop. It's an incredible, monumental amount of effort. And this particular episode, we wanted to highlight just because it has been such a big unlock for many people. We've gotten a lot of really great feedback on this particular episode. So please do check it out. I think Prana DMS, if you're not on YouTube, Prana DMS is probably the easiest way, or through your regular podcasting platform, look for Comic Industry Insiders. This was a joy to do. And we have a new panel coming up on Thursday where we talk about bestseller data and how useful it is. So including our good friends Django and Jeff are on that one.
Wait, I wasn't on that panel.
Well, let's go back in time and get you on it. We'll cut you in. We'll cut you in now. We'll just have you at the very end going, yeah, or something.
I love it. Look at that. It's updated. 25,000.
Oh, look at that.
That's what we do here. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do websites.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you did websites.
Occasionally.
All right. I think we went over, but not by as much as I thought we were going to. That's good. Awesome. I think we're done, man. Is there anything else? Where do people catch up with you? Why, or did we already cover that? Am I just doing the call?
Find me on at Manage Comics anywhere in the world or managecomics.com.
Awesome. Well, my name is Adam. This has been Comic Industry Insiders. If you're interested in the work that we do with Prana, it's pranadm.com or comicsthemagazine.com. This is the point. I actually am getting really to enjoy this particular part of the show where I get to say, if you are buying comics, if you're reading comics, if you are selling comics, if you're distributing them, if you're writing them, if you're drawing them, if you are publishing them, we want to thank you because this week you saved comics, and that's something to be proud of. Be worth being proud of. I don't know. I think we could probably turn this off now.
Go forth and save comics, people.